Welcome to the first Rapid Reviews radio podcast. I'm Kylie Wild and I'm joined by Pete Beckett. And
Hello.
We're going to have some fun. So, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Very excited about our new endeavor.
Yep. So far it's just me and you. We're
Yep.
taking the first episode, and then hopefully we can get a few more of the writers to join us over the time.
Definitely sure. They're going to hear how much fun we're having and they won't be able to resist.
Yep, absolutely. They're going to want in on this.
Absolutely. So basically what we're doing is it's our first show, so we have those little first show nervousness.
Please bear with us.
Yes, please. I've got a few bugs to work out.
Yep.
Or maybe they're features. We don't know. But
don't worry, we've got features coming out of the wazoo at the moment.
Yes.
So
yes, they're strap in because you're in for some fun.
yeah, don't worry, we will make sure to keep this very family friendly as well.
Yes.
We know we have a large demographic
We
of
do.
different age groups of people who like to read the reviews, so we will make sure that
Yes.
that content is available for all to listen to.
Absolutely, yes. And so basically, we're going to start with a few news stories. We're going to cover topics that include, like mental health and gaming, and just whatever topics are really, dear to our hearts at that time. But we're also going to be including listener questions. So it's very important.
Yeah.
If you see that shout out on Twitter, or you're on the rapidreviewsuk.com website, drop us a line. We're happy to answer any questions and have your questions answered on air. And I'm thinking we will start with a few news stories. I think the biggest news story is Blizzard. I'm going to let Pete take this one on for us.
Okay. So we are going to start off with the most controversial news story of the week. Pro player Blitz Chung I don't know much. Alright. I did lose you a couple of times. Can you still hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
Darn, our flow was so good.
So the news story to start,
Yeah.
which happens to be the fact that Blizzard have banned Blitzchung. Now, we all know that there is a bit of an issue going on in Hong Kong at the moment with the Chinese government. Players by the name of Blitzchung as a Hong Kong citizen, showed his support to the democratic process and has subsequently been banned for 12 months from professional Hearthstone playing, as well as losing his $10,000 prize money that he had won throughout the year. But this story is constantly evolving over the last couple of days, and we've had a few updates in regards to this. So, Blizzard have actually come out over the last couple of days and have released a statement, which basically says that the player Blitzchung has broken the rules, but they have acted a bit too unfairly. So he has managed to retain his $10,000 prize money, but has still been banned, but only for 6 months. The two shoutcasters that were also involved in the interview as well have also been banned, but their bans have also been reduced from 12 months to 6 months. So it looks like they are starting to turn the wheels a little bit and to trying to change the favour towards them again. And unfortunately, it does result in a player being banned because of a political statement, which, if I'm honest, does violate the rules of professional esports playing. But I'd like to know what you think about this.
Well, I'm kind of divided basically in the same way, and that it does violate the rules. Um,
Yeah,
and at the same time, though, I do wonder if he had said a statement, let's say, in support of LGBTQ rights or something, would they have banned him from the same for the same,
yeah,
you know? I mean, is it specifically because he spoke out, in support of Hong Kong? Um, and
mm,
it does kind of bring the little bit of, you know, China is a big investor in Blizzard. So you
yeah.
have to
I think the
wonder.
problem is I think the problem for me is that it clearly shows that Blizzard are being influenced by Chinese money that's coming in through Tencent.
Yes,
They have a very substantial investment from them,
they do.
and I think this is where politics should be left completely out of the equation.
I
Um, and yes, understandably, he has broken a guideline of the professional playing, but what a lot of people I've seen and a lot of reaction I've seen from people on the internet has been that this should never have happened. He should never have been banned for showing free speech, especially to an American company whose ideals are to do with free speech. You
that
know, one of the key principles of the Declaration of Independence was the principle of the right to free speech and the right to bear arms and all of that sort of thing.
yes,
You know,
and
I'm
also,
sure you could probably talk more about that.
we haven't the time. But also, I mean, being that one of Blizzard's cornerstones is every voice matters. Um,
Yes, I had seen that actually in the reaction that a lot of the
yeah, they. Hmm.
Blizzard employees have covered that
They
sign up,
did. They did.
which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that shows that even internally, even Blizzard's own people think that the reaction was perhaps too harsh, too fast. Um, I
Yeah,
I kind of think. I mean, it's hard because he did violate a rule.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. We're in agreement about that
yes,
here. The rules have been broken
they
and
have been.
punishment should
There
be.
should be a punishment. But could they not have done just for show, a little slap on the wrist just to say, you know, he broke the rules. He gets a little, maybe a ban for, I don't know, a month. 6 months is a long time when it comes to esports. That's,
I mean, considering the initial ban was for 12 months, I thought
yes.
the fact that they've rescinded that back a little bit is good, but it's still not good enough, I don't think.
I think
I
it's
think
still too harsh. I do.
absolutely. I think maybe you should have been banned from the next major and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that. The two shoutcasters, I think, were completely wrong in the matter because they
Yeah.
clearly stoked the fans of the Flames here
Yeah.
and then um, ended up hiding underneath a desk as
They
they did
did.
that, which I thought was utterly silly.
That was a bit, yeah. Shoutcasters have a responsibility, and this I have to say I'm in agreement with Blizzard over. They have a responsibility to keep things running, keep people entertained, keep the flow going. Honestly, maybe a little bit more responsibility falls on their shoulders because as he was speaking, you can always just change that flow and go into another corner, and then no one's feelings are hurt at that point.
Absolutely. You do see it on professional sports
Yes.
competitions where any controversial issues might be brought up. They try to
They
divert
just,
away
yeah,
from that line of questioning and try to move it forward where the shoutcasters wanted something and weren't willing to take the repercussions, so they just
that's,
hid behind a desk
yes.
and lo and behold, they've still been caught out and still been banned for their part to play in this whole issue.
Yeah, to be fair, I feel that as much I feel that the player himself was too harsh. I think that the shoutcasters, their punishment probably should have stayed.
I think their punishment is fair.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I think
yeah,
they, like you said, they have a very strong responsibility to try and keep the
absolutely,
conversation going. And had they noticed that this was going to be a big issue, they should have just steered it away rather
absolutely.
than ducking behind a desk.
Yeah,
But I think I think Blizzard have somewhat overreacted a bit in a big way to do with this, because the clip itself is only a couple of seconds long
Yes,
and was shared via a Taiwanese broadcast.
that's right.
Now, had they kept quiet about the whole thing, then nobody would have known a thing, and this probably wouldn't have been a big issue.
That
But
that's that's what you find a lot with professional companies nowadays. It's almost like people forgot that you don't always have to bring attention to everything.
no, but actually, I think that no, I do think that actually in this instance, it's
Hmm.
probably helped Blizzard, but not in the way that they would have
I was
wanted.
gonna say. So, how do you think
They
that,
say that,
honey?
but any publicity is good publicity.
That's right. This
But
is.
this one is clearly not worked in their favor, unfortunately.
I don't think
They're
so. I think
gone.
this is gonna have repercussions for them. For I mean, they've already,
Yeah,
they haven't been doing well anyway. They've done some pretty stupid public things, in my opinion, over the last, I don't know, year or two. Um, and
yeah.
yeah, it's just another thing to add to the pile, and I think this
Oh, of course.
will, yeah, I think this is going to echo for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, this is echoed worldwide, and this has
Mm-hmm.
been a huge issue for them. But I will say that the internet came out in full force, and the
Yeah.
memes have been glorious.
Yes. Yes.
I have
Oh,
loved a lot of especially the Overwatch memes. They
yeah.
have been very funny.
Oh yeah, and then using May as the
Yeah.
representative. Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
It's very good.
It's been
Oh, I love the gaming
yeah.
community.
I think I do as well. They do
Yeah.
know how to how to
Yes.
make you laugh in a time that should not be. So we can only thank those glorious
Yes.
memers.
Keep the memes coming.
Always. That's how I live my life.
Yes, yes.
I live my life one meme at a time.
That's how I communicate with people. I can't talk. I just send them memes.
I had noticed. I had noticed. But I think that's that for that news story. So we'll go on
Yeah.
to what is potentially the biggest news story of the week, which happens to be that Mark Cerny of Sony has been talking to Wired magazine again, and the PS5 has got an official release window of holiday 2020, which is absolutely no surprise there.
Yes. That's yeah.
We all knew it was coming. We all knew it was roughly going to be around about the same time as the Xbox
Mhm.
Scarlet. But what I find the interesting part of it is that they've actually started discussing the spec. They had discussed the specs of the console in a previous article, but they've started talking about the controller this time.
Yes.
So very interestingly, they're talking about the controller having haptic feedback on it, which, if people don't know about haptic feedback, it's basically the vibration you get on a mobile phone or a cell phone if you're listening to. So that'll be interesting, and it's very similar apparently to what the HD Rumble is like in the Switch and the Switch Pro controllers. So I'm interested to see what that's going to be like, actually.
I agree. I mean, yeah, no surprises. They're as far as even the name PS5, everyone knew that. But I have to say, and of course would love your opinion on it. The PlayStation controller has always been one of my favorites. And then it doesn't seem like they're going to be changing from the previous designs, which I'm okay with. But I mean, what do you think? Like, of all the controllers that are out there, which one tends to be your favorite?
Hmm. I would probably have to say that the PS4 is probably
Hmm.
the control of that has got probably one of the better designs out of all the DualShock controllers.
Yes.
Um, that being said, I'm so old that I remember what the original PlayStation controller was like without the DualShock on them. So I have to say it does look very weird having to see one of those, especially when the PlayStation Classic was released
Yes.
and they didn't have the DualShock controller with it, and it was a little bit unfortunate that they'd done that. Um, but in terms of the DualShock controller over the years, I think all of them have been great to their own degree, except for the PS3, which felt a bit too flimsy.
Yeah.
The six axis in it was very nice, but it wasn't utilized very well in a lot of games. And
No, yeah,
but
that now that
it
is
did feel
true.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, that controller did feel like it was going to break in my hands.
Yeah, I actually can relate
So
to that.
it
I
was
have
nice.
I have big bare hands. So that's like when I picked up the Switch for the very first time. I was like, I'm going to break this. I know I am.
Sorry, so you cut out a little bit.
Oh, I was talking about how when I first picked up the Switch and took off the controller, and it was tiny, and I thought I'm going to break it.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt trying to take those off,
Yeah.
especially if you got one of the you know, the additional bits that you got for the Joy-Con, where you put those on the wrong way. You thought
Oh
like you were going to
gosh,
snap those
yes.
off.
Oh.
Luckily, I haven't done that yet. But then again, I don't take apart my Joy-Cons very often. I just use Pro Controller now.
Yeah, that's
But
honestly that's the best way.
what was I going to say? So there was another thing that they also added as part of the PS5 controller, and this will be good news to everybody. I think that they are using a USB Type C for
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Thank God. I am
Yes.
so sick of micro
I
USBs.
I Ooh, don't get me started. I think they
Yeah, well,
work.
that's a triggering thing. I'm not going
Oh.
to go into that. So,
Oh.
what was the other thing that they also
They
said as well, that there is going to be adaptive triggers on it. So your
Yeah.
primary L2 and L2 R2 triggers are going to be similar to what the Xbox Elite controller is going to be like.
Yeah. Which okay, it's very strange. I have no basis for what I'm about to say. But I swear I remember there being a controller that was pressure sensitive on their triggers. Um, but I can't.
Yeah, it is. It's the Xbox Elite controller has it, and the Xbox Elite version 2 also has.
Maybe that was it then. I like that. Mostly because when I'm
Yeah,
in an FPS game and I'm just really happed up, I'm just like slamming on that trigger. Like, yeah, give me more power.
yeah, it will be very nice. I think it'll be really nice for games like Call of Duty and
Yeah.
things like that, where you're able to adjust the fire rate and stuff like that, and tighten them up so that it's not as responsive, or a
Hmm.
little bit more responsive, or sticks in a little bit more. So
Yeah.
I to be honest, I don't know much about the Xbox Elite controller other than the fact that it can be customized quite a lot. So
Hmm.
if that's the line that they're looking at doing with the PS5 controller, I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah, I agree. But what I don't know that I'm particularly looking forward to is
Yeah.
that they've made it where you have to download the games or you have to install the games in order to play them.
Now, that was one of the other things that they have come out with. Now, Mark Cerny himself was the lead architect of the PS5. He was also the lead architect on the PS4.
Correct.
It looks like they're using the x86 design again for the for games, so it's exactly the same as what it is going to be on the next Xbox. But apparently, one of the things that he has come out and said is that you can pick and choose what you want to download to avoid large download files. So for example, if you wanted to play Call of Duty, but all we ever do is play multiplayer, you could apparently, from the UI, just download the multiplayer aspect,
Yeah.
which
I'm
sounds very interesting.
It does. I'm hesitant on that one. It's I want to see how it plays out.
So do I. I'd like to see how they manage to design that on a user interface level, and
Yeah.
whether or not they leave that available to all the publishers, because I think that a lot of the publishers and developers are going to want most people to experience every aspect of the game rather than just one part or this part.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. But that but then you have to wonder, are they leaving themselves open so that they can sell, external hard drives and stuff? Is this a marketing ploy, much like Apple tends to do?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It also does make me worry that they're hopefully not going to lock content off to be
Ugh.
downloaded at additional price as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
having to download multiplayer for a price and then single player for a price. And
Ugh.
I just hope that we still get our games at £50 or for a standard edition, and we're able to access the entire game without having to put down more microtransactions
Yeah.
or the need for additional loot boxing or anything like that, because
That's another
I
trigger.
can't stand. Moving on. Yeah,
Oh, microtransactions. Ugh, just
I could go on for hours about that state, so we may save that for another
yes.
topic another time. I think that'll be interesting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because
But
I
how do you
definitely have plenty of things to say.
go
Go ahead.
on. So how do you feel about all this announcements coming out for the PS5 at the moment?
I think, okay, we saw with the Xbox One, the X Bone, if you will, when they.
I still can't believe people call it
I
that.
know. When they released the specs on that, I can't remember exactly how far in advance it was, but it was in advance. Everyone went nuts because it was online only. And
Oh my days, that
yeah,
whole controversy in 2013 was
yes,
quite horrible for Microsoft, that it took
exactly.
Don Matrick to leave Microsoft for Phil
That's
Spencer
right.
to come in to actually correct the ship.
Oh, yeah, that was.
I do miss the days of Don Matrick. He was quite robotic
Oh,
and it was quite
yes.
funny to watch.
Yes, definitely the showcases with him were interesting for sure. But
Yeah, we won't go into more about that, but I do think that that Phil Spencer has definitely steadied up that Xbox ship and has made it into a bit
definitely,
more of a viable product in this generation.
I
So I'd be interested to see what they do with the Scarlet.
oh, absolutely. But I think that Sony learned from that in so much as the feedback that that Microsoft got from being online only um, allowed PlayStation to pick up a lot of sales that they, we're
Yeah,
probably going to lose to Xbox. Probably. I know that's controversial, but
yeah.
So I think what they've done
Now,
is they've come out with here's the specs. Let's see how they sit with the audience, our buyers. And if they don't
yeah.
like it, then we can fix it and go on. It's kind of what I'm
Oh,
thinking because
absolutely.
yeah, it's a
I
lot of
do.
information that a
Yeah,
lot of specs.
I do think that it looks like that the majority, the PS5 and the Xbox Next or the Scarlet, whatever you want to call it at the
Yes.
moment, they have got very similar sort of architecture and a very similar sort of. You're running the x86
Hmm.
processor and it's basically utilizing pretty much everything that's there for the PC gaming market to not alienate them too.
Right.
Um, uh, and having the capabilities of going 8K, even though 8K is not a thing really for most
It's,
normal
it's
consumers.
definitely
It's
not.
clear, no, but it's clearly what they're doing is they're future proofing it
Yes.
for, because it did show that the PS4 and the X for years were lagging quite far behind the PC market.
Right.
So that's why we had the iterative updates of the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. So I think they're making the right strides in that sort of respect, but I'll be interested to see what they do with it overall, because
Hmm.
ultimately the money will come down to who's got the better lineup of games at the start.
It always comes to launch titles, always. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. So I'd be interested to see what both companies have got in terms of a launch lineup,
yeah.
because we generally know that launch lineups aren't generally not that great. Obviously, the Switch sort of knocked it out of the park by
Oh,
having Breath of the Wild available.
just yeah. They just kept
But
coming.
my opinion on that game, they did. That first year was
Oh,
insane
It
how they
was.
had a game, literally a big game every single month. So, you had Breath
Yeah.
of the Wild to start, and then you had Mario Odyssey in October. You had Arms in there and stuff like that. It was insane. It was just insane.
As a great marketing ploy, they knew what they were doing. um,
Yeah, but the only problem was they just couldn't keep it going throughout
no.
the second year. That's where we're
Yeah.
starting to see the little bit of the dip of the first party games coming out.
Yes.
But so I think, and I might be controversial in saying this, I think they probably should have left The Last of Us Part 2 a little bit longer and left it as a PS5 sort of cross generational thing
Yeah.
for launch.
I actually I think I can see that point of view because everyone has been waiting and just waiting for The Last of Us Part 2. Um,
Yeah, you see the reactions from
oh
everybody
gosh,
online.
yes.
They've been insane.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, of course, and I'm excited as well, but
Yeah,
I think I think it's a little early. I do. I think they should have saved it for the
I
PS4.
do as well, and
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how they're gonna be able to utilize the PS4 engine as well,
Yeah,
and whether or not they'll be able to maximize the performance out of that.
of course, uh, Xbox, Microsoft did the same thing with Grand Theft Auto 5. They launched it on the Xbox
Yeah.
360, turned around, released the Xbox One, and had to
Yep.
turn around and release an Xbox One version, and very quickly after. And it's like, well, how much did we
Yeah.
lose? How much would we have gained if they would have just sat on it?
Exact. I'd absolutely agree with you because I did play GTA 5 on both versions.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yes.
played the Xbox and I played the PS4 version,
Mm-hmm.
and the performance is absolutely outstanding on the newer generation of consoles. And
Yeah.
I think they probably could have waited a little bit longer, but they clearly wanted to get another game onto that system.
Yeah. I have to say that I I started out as a diehard Xbox fangirl. No, that's not true. That's not true.
Yep.
My first console was a PlayStation, PS1, and
Oh wow.
yeah,
Uh,
and then I did not when Xbox first dropped. We're talking the original Xbox. I absolutely no. I'm not having anything to do with that.
no,
And then
I didn't either. It's only
yeah,
recently that I've actually gone back and bought
yes,
them. So
I did the same. I've just recently bought an old console. But I never played Xbox when it first dropped. And it wasn't actually because one of my favorite series is Halo. But I only played that on PC.
yep. Yeah,
And
I mean,
then
I played Halo a lot with a couple of friends of mine.
absolutely, yeah.
That was only when the 360 came out that I played it via backwards
Yes.
compatible.
Yep, exactly. And so when that came out, I kind of switched a little. I guess the PS3, Xbox 360 era, I went more to Xbox. But then something happened and Microsoft just dropped the ball when it came to games.
They did. That was the unfortunate side of this generation is that
Mm-hmm.
they clearly had put too much into the marketing of the all-in-one box
Yes.
and not enough development into games, which is
Nope.
where I
Yeah.
think they struggled for the first good couple of years and has still had a negative impact on what they've been doing still even going forward. Like I said, that Phil Spencer has steadied the ship,
Yes.
but he has it still hasn't helped at all.
It's like, come
Um,
on, Xbox, we need games.
yeah, well, this is where I think what a lot of the development is actually is going towards on the next console. So I think that they're going to focus heavily on the games, and with the fact that Halo Infinite is going to be a launch title, whether or
I
not
am
that
excited
does
about
actually.
that.
Now, I'm not so much because I found Halo 4 and Halo
Oh,
5 to not be very good,
okay.
unfortunately.
Halo 5 does not exist
Yeah, so
in my
in terms
reality.
like I
Yes,
didn't play Halo 5
it was
straight away.
terrible.
I waited until it came out a little bit and gave it a bit of time, but the fact that they had no split screen on that game
Just,
from the very start was
oh,
just kind of like you've forgotten exactly why people
Yes,
play Halo.
exactly. Oh, it was just bad all the way down. And they
It
messed that one up.
it wasn't big, but I think yeah, we're sort of
I
sidetracking here
know.
really in terms of that, but I think it's been interesting to be able to actually talk about differences between the two consoles there,
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
I do hope that Microsoft do bring an A game out for the Scarlet, and as well as Sony's with the PS5. I hope, and I'm still sitting here hoping that Ghost of Tsushima
Oh yes.
does come out on the PS4, but if
Yeah.
it's a PS5 exclusive, I won't mind because that game looks
It
gloriously good.
yeah, it does. It does. Hands down, I kind of think they should sit on it and release it with the PS5. Because once again, I'm just
Yeah, I mean,
reiterating.
if
I think that the PlayStation is going to. I think Sony. Sorry, I think Sony is going to just come out of the market with all the games. I think they're just going to come right out of the thing.
mm,
I think that's
yeah,
their strength is games.
yeah, definitely. I think both parties are going to really focus heavily on the games rather than being digital boxes for multimedia and stuff like that. They are
Yeah,
obviously going to have your usual Netflix, Hulu, and all that thing on them, but I think necessarily they need to start by focusing on the games.
yeah, agreed.
So, but anyway, so we're going to move on to the last news topic,
Yes.
and we thought we'd pick a funny one for you because Konami's problems only get worse.
Ah, yes.
Now, now this is going to be a bit of a problem for a lot of people because you get excited when you hear that a new Silent Hill game has been announced
Oh yes, absolutely.
for casinos.
What?
So, so Konami have released a press statement to state that they are bringing Silent Hill to a slot machine game.
I I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. It's
I
gotta
can't
be a
help
joke.
but laugh.
It's gotta be a joke.
But no, I think this is the difference here. This has got to be a joke, or Konami have got to be a big joke at the moment. I don't know which.
I,
Now I don't know what to think about this because this is utterly hilarious.
I'm absolutely stunned. I'm
Yeah.
stunned. It feels like a joke, but it's Konami, so I mean, if you think about it, they do have some really great,
It really does
interactive
make
machines.
sense.
But yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is the same company that decided to make a HD version of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater for a pachinko machine.
Yes, it's true.
That breaks my heart
Oh,
because Snake Eater is one of my favorite games in the series, and they
yeah.
decided for a pachinko machine as a way of swindling people out of money.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I
And
mean,
this is going to be no better.
no. This is literally in every way a cash grab, and I mean that as a casino,
Oh,
as a slot machine, and as it being Konami, it is a cash grab, and
it's the biggest cash grab you could ever get.
I still I'm absolutely stunned by this. I think the only way
Yeah,
you can be comforted is maybe if you think like back in the 70s, I think they had pinball machines. I've never played pinball,
yeah,
but I mean, they look like cool machines and they're all branded and they have all different, but so maybe it could kind of be in the same vein as a pinball machine, but I it just feels like a joke. It just feels like a joke.
yeah,
I mean, what
yeah.
what's the windscreen gonna be? You know what? I can't even imagine.
Oh, I really worry about that. Hopefully, it's not a pyramid head absolutely coming towards the screen.
To be, or a
Just
psychologist
evoke all.
says it's all a dream or something.
Well, it clearly is going to be, isn't it? Because all clearly a dream.
A
It
very
really
bad, a nightmare. It's a literal nightmare.
is. This is a horrible nightmare that I can't wake up from, and that's making a Konami reference.
That's right. That's exactly right. So see, they knew it all along.
So I actually did want to read this press statement because this press statement is utterly hilarious.
Oh gosh, yes.
So, oh my god, it says so it says a 4-wager slot experience, Silent Hill Escape. This cabinet is a striking combination of sleek entertainment, premium packaging, and player comfort, backed by a rich library of original titles.
Oh gosh. So there's going to be more.
It goes on to say everything including its shape, screens, betting surface, and available merchandising has been engineered to maximize both player experience and operational results.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That is the worst press statement I've ever heard.
That is so... We're here to take your money, and we've engineered how the best way it is to take your money, because that's what we're going to do, take your money.
I can't put it any better than that myself, to be honest. So apparently this is actually going to be shown off for the first time at the Global Gaming Expo in Las Vegas later this month.
Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect.
Yeah, now telling you from my experience of going to Las Vegas earlier on in the year, that place is literally just Bet City. You can't walk around any place without going to see someone sitting on a slot machine for at least 12 hours a day.
Of course, now I've pictured in my head a little old, granny with her visor on and her cup of coins. And
oh my god, so many times. So many times. I mean, I'm a as is, so around 6:30 in the morning I'd get up and I'd go outside and have a little walkabout, and I'd see the same people there that were there the night before.
Yes.
It's horrible.
I could just see it now, like, Harold, you seen this? This guy's got a pyramid on his head. But I just won me $1,000. So I just
what are they gonna have as the
exactly
as the things on the slot? Like,
exactly.
Oh, if you get all pyramids, is that the jackpot or something? I don't know.
Or I don't know. I mean, at the end, is a dog gonna walk on screen and say here's your $1,000 or whatever? I can't even fathom what the graphics are gonna be like on this.
Well, if it's anything like what slots games are like at the moment, it will look great.
Well,
it will look fantastic.
Yeah, that's actually true.
But it's not the game
beautiful ones out there.
Silent Hill fans want.
No.
It's definitely not a game that Silent Hill fans want, and I'm pretty sure it's a game that no gamer wants.
I wonder if it's going to be canon.
Oh, hopefully not. Imagine that if they actually do bring it up, and if they decide to make the next Silent Hill game, if they bring up Escape in there and say, oh my gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Imagine if they actually released it as a microtransaction minigame in that game.
I don't put it... Okay, we've got it recorded here. We'll check back in 2 years, and it's going to happen, and we'll be like, we were the first to break it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There'll be someone out there that would break the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I couldn't believe this when I saw this, so I'm going to say shout outs to Jim Sterling for this one, because I wouldn't have known about this had it not been for his video, because this is just truly glorious.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a great little cherry on our news stories. Okay, so our next segment is going to be where we talk about, just gaming and what it means for us. And this week it was the Mental Health Awareness Day. I think that was a global event, or it sure seemed like it on to internets. That was on the 12th of October this year. So
right, that was this week.
Okay, so that's great. I'm always very open about my own mental health struggles. I've been diagnosed with depression, and recently found out this year that I am actually, not that this is mental health, but I'm actually on the autism spectrum. So that's been wonderful. Yeah. And I have to say, just for me personally, I would not have survived my teen years without my game consoles. There's no way.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely not. I would 100% agree with you. When I had a lot of issues with people at school,
Yes.
I would come home at night and just after doing my homework, I would play a game and
Mm-hmm.
it would take me to a whole new world somewhere else. And it was the greatest thing really to be able to help with your mental health. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sometimes a bit of escapism is
Yeah.
I mean, but the only thing that I would say about that is it doesn't necessarily get down to the bottom line of the issue, and I
Right.
would 100% say to anyone who is struggling out there to get in contact with someone, whether it be a friend, a colleague, or anyone from the medical profession. Get in contact and just get it all out there and just talk to someone because talking does help with it massively.
It does. I actually this year I did my first. It's called CBT. Um,
Yes.
and it was. I encourage anyone. I will say this. Again, we're getting a little controversial, but that's okay. I originally, obviously, am from the U.S. and I now currently live in the U.K. The access to mental health help in the U.S. was pretty non-existent, if I'm honest.
Has that gotten better over time though?
I think as more awareness has happened, I think some things have gotten better, but
Yeah.
affordability
Uh,
is not better. Definitely
yeah. I
not.
mean, to be fair,
Hmm.
over here, over here for the longest time, it was something that was not very well recognized,
Yes.
and one of the things that I always used to get told as someone who suffers themselves is you know, to cheer up. It might
Oh,
never
yes.
happen one day, or
Oh,
oh, man up, or something like that. Now, I hate those terms. I can't
yes.
stand them because there's that stigma of man up. Men aren't allowed to have their own issues or things like that. They're expected to be strong no matter what, and I can't stand that mentality
No,
because we are all human. We are all living the same life. We're all trying to better ourselves in some way. And for someone to turn around and be very derogatory like that is not very nice at all.
no,
So
I agree. And I agree. I think that um, I once had a phrase that someone told me, which was perfectly imperfect, and that has really stuck with me. I think that with the whole social media and putting our fake selves, our masks out there, um, we forget
yeah,
that we are human, all of us, every single one of us, and we all struggle. We struggle with who we are, struggle with who we're going to be.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think if we just remember that no one's perfect, we're all perfectly imperfect.
no, that's the best way that you could put it. Absolutely, and that's pretty much a mantra that I'll live by now. And
It's been
It's
great.
perfect to be imperfect.
Absolutely. Ah, it's a rallying cry.
You know. Absolutely. So, just on the note there,
Hmm.
just like I said before, if anyone needs any help with anything, always reach out. I mean, we us are on Twitter. If you feel
Yes,
like you want to get in contact with us, I'm more than happy to take a contact from someone to say
absolutely.
I'm struggling with my mental health. What do I do? I can't claim to know everything about the people out there, but I know my own experiences and my own struggles, so I can hopefully try and put that into light with a few people and
Absolutely.
hopefully try and help them in that sense. But there are great services out there for the UK based people like the Samaritans. I have used them and they are fantastic.
Yes. And I
And
think,
like you said before, with CBT,
mhm,
cognitive behavioral therapy, I would recommend anyone to want to go and do that. They are
absolutely.
seriously struggling.
And I think here
Um,
in Northern Ireland, I don't know if it's UK wide, but we have a service called Lifeline, and they're pretty great too. When you think that there's just no one
what
to
service,
talk
sorry?
to, Lifeline, and
No, I
LIFE
don't
line.
believe that is a. I think that's a Northern Ireland
All
thing,
right.
but I think our equivalent is the Samaritans.
It must be. So yes,
Yeah.
Lifeline, Samaritans, and I
Yeah.
think just they're out there.
Um, yeah. And I think for anyone who's US, I believe there's a service. I don't know whether it's. I know there's a paid service that you can use called BetterHelp, and
Yes, that's
BetterHelp
right. Yeah.
are. They are also UK based as well. So if you wanted to use that, then I would recommend it because they're private therapists
Hmm.
who can do it all over the internet or do it in person. It's however up to you, basically. So
And
um, private therapy can get very
it
expensive,
can.
but National Health Service don't offer as much as you would like to have. So
And there are waiting lists, as I've found out.
yeah, I had to wait. I had to wait 10 weeks for the
Really?
start of my sessions, and I only
Yeah,
got sick. So it may do you a world of good. It may not do you a lot of good. But if you don't feel like it's something that's done you very well, then you can always go private. It's not
absolutely.
an issue. There are more than
And
enough people out there who are willing to talk about it, and
and
you know,
always remember that there's nothing wrong with you. Everyone experiences
no,
this.
absolutely, there's no harm in asking for help. If
Absolutely, yeah.
if you think like you're being a burden to someone because you need help, then you should probably move to the next person and talk to them about it,
Right.
because it's someone who doesn't want to listen to you is not someone that you
No.
should be talking to about this. In
Absolutely.
all due respect, because it is those people who suffer with mental health issues. I think they are the most knowledgeable about the issue because
Hmm.
they have to live it and have had to live through it mostly in silence for quite a few years.
Yes, I agree. I think that the last couple of years it's really come to light that it's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something that only happens to a few people and let's keep it a secret. No, it's a human condition.
No, anything in life can happen to you that could
Yeah,
cause that. A death
absolutely.
in the family, or a good friend losing contact with them. It could be literally anything that could be a trigger.
That's true.
So just keep a lookout for your mental state. Keep an eye out for all the signs that might be popping up. You're struggling to get yourself out of bed and motivated to do
Yes.
things that you would normally do, or even if you go out on an very quiet and very distant, that could be something that's worrying you a little bit. And so the best thing to do is to speak up and take action, basically, because
Absolutely.
unfortunately it's not going to help itself, and you need to do something to try and help you to get better.
Yeah. And there's more reward in doing that, I think. And
Absolutely.
of course, we
There's no
support
point.
you here. So
Yeah,
I always say we're
Rapid Reviews UK are a very
yes,
particular about the mental health. On our Discord, we do have a channel just dedicated for that, and
it's
regular
wonderful.
people constantly asking on a weekly basis, how is everyone
Oh,
doing today, this week?
it's so wonderful. It's just it's the way we should be as humans.
Agreed, 100% agreed. There's so much animosity with people out there everywhere that just taking 5 minutes out of your day
Hmm.
to ask how someone is actually quite rewarding and quite fulfilling.
And
It does make me feel better about myself knowing that I have gone out to try and help someone who is clearly struggling.
definitely. And one thing I always say, and I will say it here, which is if you don't have anyone cheering for you, we're cheering for you. We're your cheerleaders.
Absolutely, we'll always be here.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Okay, so I hope that helps. I
Yeah,
really hope that it helps a few people out there who may be sitting on the fence, about
absolutely.
whether or not they want to get it out in the open.
Yeah, I mean, to reiterate, we've been through it, and we've come up the other side. It's just a thing that happens sometimes.
Of course, and I think the thing to remember is you're not always every day. It's a day by day thing. So
Hmm.
take each day as it comes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, shall we move on to some questions? Because
I
we've got
think
some
we
great
should.
questions.
Yes. We are moving on to listener questions, which I will say before we begin. Again, uh, either the Twitter or the website or whatever, if you have a question and you want to hear it on air, send it to us.
Absolutely. And our overlord, as I call him, Mike.
Yes.
He is the one that puts the call out every time for some questions. He's done so this time, so we've got a few questions, and I think these are really interesting ones as a good start off point. So, which one should we take first?
I'm happy with the first one. Why are you guys so freaking awesome?
Well, they clearly don't know who I am. I'm not that awesome, but
I was
that's
gonna.
coming back to the whole mental health issues. I don't believe very highly of myself at all.
Oh, I was gonna say that it's because we take a daily dose of awesome sauce.
What, sorry?
We take a daily dose of awesome sauce.
Oh yeah, of course.
See, the funny thing about this question though is what I've learned from being an American in the UK. Back home in the US, we're very, very quick to say, I'm awesome. And it doesn't really mean that. It's just something we say. We kind of have that kind of, the American cockiness and all that kind of stuff. The UK is a little bit different. You guys are a little more humble and, oh, no,
Yeah.
no, dude, I'm not awesome. It's a group effort type thing.
Of course, yeah. Do you want to know what this question reminds me of?
Sure.
For some reason, it reminds me of South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. It's the song by Big Gay Al. I'm super. Thanks for asking.
Oh gosh, yes. That would be very equivalent to that.
I don't know why.
But it's a great segment.
I would say that us guys and girls, so I'm not going to say guys because, we are awesome because we are dedicated.
Yes.
We are very interested, and gaming is our passion.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
We wanted to get our start somewhere in games reviews and media and all of that sort of thing. So luckily Mike was very, very good with that.
He's second to none. Second to none.
He is brilliant. He is a very, very good guy, and I'm not paid to say this.
Yes. Oh, that's right. We're not paid.
But yeah, so full endorsement here. This might be a rapid reviews podcast, but we aren't paid.
Yes,
We are.
That's right.
We love what we do.
Absolutely. And
I think that one, doesn't it?
yeah. So
okay, so yeah, I'm not sure who put that question in.
Yeah,
I must make sure to put that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have names, so I'm so sorry that I didn't get the name.
That's all right.
But thank you very much for the question. But I'm sure he did come out. So
yeah.
So the question was, when recording on your Xbox One X in 4K or HDR, why is the colors all washed out and grey looking? Real issues here is that it's causing me to go out and buy a capture card next week. Now, that's an interesting one.
It is interesting. For a couple of reasons, because I don't know. I tend to be a bit literal. So I don't know if they're asking the exact reasons why that happens or how to fix it.
I can't say I know either. I unfortunately don't own an Xbox One X.
Well,
and I don't particularly record gameplay footage very much, but that is something I would like to do a bit more when it comes to our reviews.
Definitely.
And I believe that there are a few people out there who are putting some more video-based reviews out there.
Yeah, we are trying to expand to that, which I really need to do. I actually do record a lot.
I think we all do. So right, okay. So what we had actually from this is that Mike had seen something that had come out and said one of the things that you could do is to download a program called Insects from the Xbox One X. It's kind of a game publisher developer sort of thing. So that will help you to check out all the washed out colors and all that sort of thing, and it will get you to a good principle in which to capture the gameplay footage for you directly from the Xbox One.
Oh, that's very good. Also, it's just to add a little bit to it. It's kind of a known bug, a known issue.
Yes.
And there is a workaround, but it's not consistent. It depends on your hardware. It depends on versions and stuff like that. But sometimes, if while you're recording, if you go out of your Xbox and into your television settings and reconnect it to your HD, sometimes that will, shift it around.
That's very interesting. I didn't think about doing that. So maybe if you have a 4K based TV, maybe go into the HDR settings of that. Maybe try and, instead of doing it in 4K, try and drop the quality down a slight bit, maybe, and see whether or not that fixes the issue.
Yeah. And
but
I'd love to know if someone does implement either of those solutions. I would personally love to know if that works.
I would as well, because although I'm not an Xbox One owner, I have been sitting on the fence as to whether or not to get an Xbox One X.
Yeah, I have one. Actually, currently I have all the consoles, and to be fair, it's the one I play the most. So
yeah, I think I have more people that play Xbox than I do over PlayStation, so it might work out a little bit better to do that. But with Xbox Game Pass on PC now, that might change.
Yes, that is true. That's something we should talk about also.
So that way we can at least get a few people on to, playing some Xbox games.
Absolutely,
and hopefully that will work out for the best. So the last question we got is one that requires a little bit of an explanation. So do you want to ask the question?
Sure. Questioner asks, how did you start Rapid Reviews and where did the inspiration come from?
Now, it was all my idea. I'm going to take full credit for this. And it was the best idea I can't carry on that long. Now, as a result of this question, because we are not the founders of Rapid Reviews UK, we decided to go and ask our gracious overlord for a response to this, and he has come back with an essay. Good, it's a fair essay. It's a very good one, actually. I did notice it had a couple of typos in it, but I'm not gonna criticize that at all. I'm not an English teacher.
Who edits the editor?
That's worrying. If the editor's making mistakes, no, Mike generally doesn't make that many mistakes.
No,
it was literally something where I think he's just double tapped into something there, and it's just made him a small mistake. Now, Mike is he is a husband and a dad, so fair play. He has kids running around whilst he's trying to do this. So I think his wife gets a little annoyed at him for constantly working as well.
Oh my gosh!
So I shall read this statement because, it's only a page long, but it will take a little bit of time. So,
strap in.
Mike says, Rapid Reviews began as a small idea back in 2018. I was sat on my couch playing a game and was a little bored. Now, I'm going to correct him here because couch, that's clearly an American term.
Yes, it is.
You should know about that, of course. Now, I would say sofa, but that's just me.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Mike, I am grading your paper, by. So, okay. As a lifelong gamer, I'd always enjoyed reading other people's thoughts and opinions of the games, and I would often read reviews before deciding whether or not to purchase them. That's a bad idea. But I can understand why. I used to do the same thing myself. But
I do on the smaller titles.
Yeah. Now, as a reviewer, I don't. I try not to let my opinion be coloured by a review that someone else has written. So I won't review anything until I won't read any reviews until I've written a review myself.
100%, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So he goes on to say, I owned a couple of consoles and a Nintendo Switch, and I decided I'd give writing reviews a go. Now that's fair.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. General idea of rapid reviews, hence the name. A game in literally a couple of sentences based around looks and sounds, gameplay, and replayability, and a conclusion. The reviews were then given a rating of yeah, meh, or bleh. Now that is a rating system I really want to.
Know. We should have
What?
that back.
Who wants a 1 to 5? Yeah, who wants a 1 to 5 rating? I want a meh, bleh.
Yeah.
Now, I know another outlet out there, I'm not mentioning by name, does actually do something quite similar to that. So that is quite good, actually, because most of the time it's quite hard to put into your feelings what number or numerical value you give to a game, and that's always the toughest part for me.
I agree.
Okay, so carrying on. So we're carrying on here. I wanted to give people a flavour of the game in a couple of minutes. I decided to do this as many reviews that I rad. Bloody hell. I'm clearly living in a here, and I'm getting myself poisoned very slowly. So I'll go again. I decided to do this as many reviews that I had read were mostly like essays or a thesis of the game.
Yes.
Now this is a bit ironic because this is basically like a thesis in its own right. But I'll go on. As the site grew, the number of games that I had review codes for started to increase. Initially, it was mainly codes for indie games. Then I began to get some codes for what you would call bigger games. Now I worry about that. Indie game is not a big game, but I know what he means, and probably what he meant is the AAA titles or the AA coming out and stuff like that. Yeah. So as the codes increased, as did the need to get more writers for the site, I thought that it would be difficult to get people to write for the site. However, I couldn't have been further from the truth. Now, this is where he starts to gush a little bit. So I'll incoming emotional breakdown here, maybe.
Oh goodness, yeah, put a little warning. Beep,
so,
beep.
The support and encouragement. Yeah. The support and encouragement was overwhelming, and before long, I had a core team of brilliant writers.
Oh, wow.
Something that I am immensely proud of is that fact that a lot of writers have made their writing debuts at Rapid Reviews.
That's very good.
I being one of them.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Well, yeah, now, Mike took a lot of people on, like, he was nice enough to get in contact with people by Twitter or by social media. He had seen that I had been putting some stuff out there for a film magazine.
Yes,
and
right.
One of my first reviews actually was for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for this magazine.
Oh wow.
So I think he may have noticed that I had done some stuff on there, got in contact, and asked if I wanted to get involved, and yeah, that's how it started, really. I know that a few other people had made their starts through that as well. So
that's excellent.
So he goes on to continue. Now, just over a year later, Rapid Reviews is growing from strength to strength. I am proud to be owner, and he's put a capital O on the owner. It's like really putting that power in force.
Yeah, right, that's right. I am your overlord.
Like, I am the big guy. I'm the big man on camp. Oh, the overlord, Mr. Rapid Review. He says I have a team of talented writers whose support of the site has been immense. I wanted to say a big thanks to all our fans and to everyone who's contributed to the site, whether that be writers, followers, or people who have given codes and products to the website for review. The future is looking bright, and I can't wait to see where the site is in another year's time. Now, at the end, he's put years, but he hasn't put the apostrophe before the S. So, Mike, I'm afraid I'm going to have to give you a B on this one. Yep. Please try harder next time.
Add more brilliant writers.
But no, we joke and we laugh about
Yes.
this because Mike was very kind enough to actually be able to offer this explanation to us, because we
Absolutely.
wouldn't
Yeah.
have been able to answer this question at all.
No.
So I do have to say thank you to Mike for the chance to actually be involved with this process.
Yeah.
It's been nearly a year for myself as well. I started out in April, and it's been fantastic. I've seen how many people have come into the fold now, like
Mm-hmm.
obviously like yourselves, Killy,
Mm-hmm.
and other great people like Andre and Sam, who and Pat as well, who have basically joined as deputy editors now. We've got people like Sean Hughes and um, others that I can't even remember.
God, it's
You
such
know,
a great
Jenny as
roster.
well, Jennifer.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
there are so many great writers on this team that
Yes.
I've been
Absolutely.
privileged to actually been given the chance to join these people and to conversate with these people via Discord on a regular basis and scramble to try and get games, obviously.
Yes.
Because
Uh,
the minute a code goes up and
I was
people
gonna
are
say.
interested, it's like
Yeah.
it turns into a war zone,
I was
doesn't
gonna
it?
say we all enter the Coliseum and we fight to the death for for the codes.
Right, get your battle axes ready
That's
for this
right.
code. Boys.
Mike should record
I'm
those.
currently sharpening my sword for the next one to come up.
I'm gonna use a Triton.
Ooh, a trident.
Yes.
Wow, you're like Brick from Anchorman.
I
You just
killed a
killed a
guy.
man with a trident. Low for a little while. The police might be looking for you.
I love Lamp.
Who doesn't love Lamp?
That's true. It's true.
Oh,
Uh,
dear. So,
but
I just wanted to take a sort of see where you got your start from on the site.
well,
So, I've been gracious enough to explain my small start.
I'm a mysterious Lone Ranger. No, my start is actually I have a journalism news background, and I quickly found out that that's not the life for me. Uh, my first story that I had to cover was a double homicide, and after realizing that that's no, that's not for me, uh, I fell back into
No.
just writing for just writing for money, freelance, and did some ghost writing and stuff. And then I saw
Yep.
the plea go out on Twitter, and I thought, yeah, I mean, I love video
Yep.
games and I love writing, so
Perfect.
yeah, little from
That's it.
column A, little from column B, and here I am. And
Now
it's been absolutely wonderful. I'm echoing yourself when I say this, but the amount of talent that we have on staff it's mind blowing. And we, as you said, we all share a passion for games, but we're all from different points of view. We have different voices and we have different likes, and it's just it creates a full entire picture.
Oh yeah, definitely. I find it quite interesting that there are a lot of conversations that I had between all of us. Someone might disagree about certain things, and then some people will chime in and go, "Oh, I don't necessarily agree with that." A really good place to come and comment all these people. They're
Absolutely.
all very interesting characters. They all
Yes.
have their own likes and dislikes. I don't think. I mean, I'm not going to mention who that is by name, but I don't think I've ever heard anyone turn around and be so vehemently against the Joy-Cons like one of our writers is. It's
Yes.
interesting, but I would have to agree with him. They do feel a little bit plasticky.
Yes. I have to
So
agree.
yeah. So we might not necessarily agree with the veracity in which some of
Right.
it's said. Yeah.
Yes.
But we all have our own opinions on things, but we do it in the nicest possible way, and
Absolutely.
it's
Oh,
great to meet these incredible people, and I'll be lucky to meet a couple of them whilst I'm at EGX next week, which
yes.
I'm
Very
very happy.
exciting. Yes. Cannot wait to hear your feedback from that. It's going to be great.
Yes.
So a little
Yeah.
preview for next week.
Yeah. Absolutely. So next week is probably we're going to cover a lot to do with EGX because I will be there for at least 3 days out of the 4,
Wow.
and I've got appointments to go and play a few games that I'm going to keep close to my chest at the moment.
I'm totally not jelly at all.
Oh, you should have come. You should have come over from
I should.
Ireland.
There's literally no reason why I couldn't. It's like a 30-minute flight.
It is. I mean, it's so near. It's
It
so
really
near,
is.
but yet so far.
Exactly. Oh, it's so funny.
It's always rezzed in April, so you should try and get yourself over for that.
Absolutely.
That would be great. And maybe if we're lucky, who knows? I might see if we can try and do this podcast live with them.
Oh, that would be good. And
yeah,
then,
I did that. I did do that last year actually at EGX with someone I used to did previous podcast with. I got to talk on stage, and it was quite amazing.
Yes.
Nerve-wracking.
Yes, it would be. But
mind you, I get nervous even just sitting in my little cubby hole in the corner of my house, just wanting to do a podcast. It's quite weird. Like the nerves really do hit, don't
they do. I think it's funny. I don't think people realize just how much it takes to just talk into a microphone in a room by yourself.
Well, it definitely does help when you have a good person on the other end of the microphone.
Yes, definitely. It's very encouraging, I will say that.
Oh, absolutely. So I think the gush is over now.
Yeah, I think because I'm kind of getting nauseous.
Yeah, but I think that's going to close us out for this week.
Yes, I think that is our inaugural episode. We hope you've enjoyed it. Always know that you can... Oh, I just lost you. There. Oh, I think we're back.
Sorry, you were a second.
Okay, there. Everything came. Everything hit at once.
Yeah. So, I think what we'll do is we'll give you a couple of links for your viewership. So, get yourself over to www.rapidreviewsuk.com for all your amazing reviews from all those great people we spoke about earlier. We've had. I can't remember exactly how many reviews we've had, but we've had at least one review every day this week.
Definitely. It was a heavy week, so you've got bathroom reading for hours.
Yeah, there's some great reading material on there. The week started out with an incredible review of Link's Awakening, which I would encourage everybody to read, but that's not to say that we shouldn't read it. Yes. But we've got, so if you wanted to follow us on Twitter, we're at Ray, and also on Facebook at Rapid Reviews UK. If you just search that in there, you'll be able to find that.
Absolutely.
How do people get a hold of you?
I can be found on Twitter at Kiley to Greet, which is a reference to Futurama. So, that's K.
Oh yeah, it's clear. That's very internety, isn't it? To greet.
To greet. So KILEYTEHGREET. And then you can find me. I have a very public Facebook page under Kiley Wild. It's just a random melange of everything I do, so feel free, jump in, join us.
I quite like the melange, so that's going to be interesting to see. But
absolutely.
So if you wanted to follow me on Twitter, and I'm not sure why, because all I post is a load of crappy opinions, to be honest.
That's what Twitter's for.
Good point. So I am there at Pete Beckett 1, and that's BECKETT. So if you wanted to give me a follow or a retweet, or if you wanted to see anything that I post up, my silly opinions, then go ahead.
Or even, well, actually keep your eyes peeled for the Rapids Review Twitter, and then I would say our respective Twitters, and tweet at us questions. Give us your thoughts on this week's show, and let us know what you'd like to see in the future.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is we will post this up using the Rapid Reviews Twitter page, and it will probably go... I'm not sure what Mike wants to do with it, but it may go live on the website as well. So
All
we're gonna hopefully put this up on a lot of different platforms. So it will probably be on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and places like that. So, but we will make sure we hit out all the links once this goes live.
Excellent.
But for the very first episode, the inaugural episode, the one that Mike likes to know as episode 0, I'm going to call episode 1.
Yes.
Because I don't start at 0, I start at 1.
Yes.
A small introduction, like a 2-minute introduction, then yeah, we could go in episode 0. But
Right.
it does leave us open to an episode 0 prequel at some
There
point.
you go. Oh, yes, we'll do a prequel.
Yeah. Or we could, or in true Borderlands fashion, we could call it the pre-podcast.
Ah, the pre-podcast. Yes.
That was. I'm gonna end there. That was really bad. I'm sorry. But that's it for us this week. Signing out. I've been Pete Beckett,
and I'm Kylie Wild, and we will
catch you next time.
Week. Yep. Bye.